we want to build men, so we're gonna have to put a cost on it. And noticing you enough to notice you're not putting in effort. When I unracked it, it felt like this is 5 pounds off of 400. We're back on Thursday nights, hopefully. Got a couple pieces of news. We're changing our stream day because Sunday we tried it out for a while. We didn't really get anybody on there. I'm thinking about starting back on YouTube again and just deleting the stream afterwards. So if you watch on YouTube, then let me know, because I generally like the interaction that you get in the chats. It's definitely it's the place to go. I love interacting with you guys, even if it's just the same people every time. It's definitely I'm trying to think, like it's like taking pre-workout, so it hypes me up. I'm trying to, let's just do it this way. So the reason Peyton's not here is he just got back on day shift, so that's basically an answered prayer, and we're super hyped about that. But at the same time, it kind of threw off his sleep schedule and stuff like that. So he's not here today, and I think everybody else just kind of forgot. But it's, at the end of the day, it's just me and Cookie's podcast anyway. But we like having other guests on. It's really fun. Gives us a little different, different voices to hear from. Because it's kind of a breath of fresh air when we have guests on. Because we don't have, especially if you have Roger on, or any of the house. Like even the quiet one. Jonathan, man, it was just me and him on here, and we held a conversation for like a long time. So House can talk, and that's good. Good for podcasting. So because you're just sitting here talking. So this is actually my first solo episode. I think I did one a few weeks ago for like 10 minutes by myself. So I'm actually confident now that I can do this as long as I have something that I'm supposed to say. So yeah, let us know what the best day, because we want to do these at a time that's good for people to hit the chats. And we want to do these, because we want your interaction. We want to build a community. And the podcast is definitely one of the ways we want to do that. We want to build a community and a culture around it, just putting work in. And we're going to go into some of that tonight. It won't be as long as usual, but, we're going to go into the number one thing that you're missing in your training to get the most results, the best results. I think it's a pivotal part of training that if you're missing out on it, you're missing out, right? But I did notice I say right a lot. When I'm shooting my videos for my channel, go follow me, Dylan McCullum. Actually just did a video on community, and I did a video on Christians and guns. So y'all go check those out. Look me up, Dylan McCullum. And in my recordings, I say right a lot. Like I'm trying to agree with the camera here. So my camera gonna be like, yeah, man, you're right. But yeah, so we're trying to find the right day and time to do this. It's kind of hard working around multiple people's schedules when we're on different schedules. It's going to be a little easier now that we're on the same, or at least regular human hours of sleeping at night and stuff. So there's that. And I'm down to doing a day podcast. I make my own hours, and if it builds the culture, if it gets the mission done, gets more people in the gym, I'm all about it. So, yeah, y'all just let me know in the comments if y'all have any feedback on that. But I want to go ahead and shout out Lost Glasses Design Company. Carson's company. Wait, is it Lost Glasses? I think I did lose my glasses. Lost something. I keep losing the name. Y'all go check him out. We're hopefully by now we're gonna. If he sees this, I'm gonna tell him to hop in the chat. If he shows up, he shows up. If he don't, he don't. But if he does, Carson, put your link in the comments. He's been popping off. But he's really good at designing. He made our logos, our cover art for this and the Burden Society, which I want to get into a little bit of what the Burden Society is today. But yeah, go give his page a like. If you need a logo, if you need a cover art, if you need thumbnails, anything graphic design wise, he can help you out. So, another update. Taylor Junkin, we had him as a podcast guest, and now he's just fully integrated into our crew. So, I'd like to have him back on eventually, but there's kind of a breath of fresh air finding someone like-minded. A lot of times, this is from a man's perspective. I feel like we get isolated and think we're the only ones that think the way we think, and then we find somebody and we're like, oh, it's just us. But now in reality, there's a lot of people that think exactly like you, have the same standards as you, have the same beliefs, and they may be in the same spot as you, and they just need you to reach out. And you just kind of have to put yourself out there to find these people, which is kind of why we've created, I've created the Burden Society. So the actual name for the Burden Society came from a video I did where I was calling men that don't work out burdens. And a lot of people got up in arms about it, but still, its name just popped up in my head, and I said it in the group message, and Carson, like within the hour, had me graphics, bro. And it's still a plug for Carson too. And they were like legit. So I don't know the full scope of what this is going to end up, but in my mind, this is my personal brand, and this is my community basically. But I envision, like, right now all we have is the Discord and we have the Forge, and hopefully we're going to build out from there. But we want to build men. We want to build men. The burdens, I have it written down right here: to build men, to build community, and to build culture. And that's what we want to do on a small scale. It's not small, pouring into somebody. It's not small discipling somebody. That's a big deal because that's generations. But we want to build men, and we want to build community, and we want to build culture. So, each one plays into the next, because if you build the men, it's going to build their community. It's going to build the culture. But, one-on-one wise, I want to do mentorships for people. I want to coach people, not just fitness-wise, but yes, fitness-wise, because that's a major key. And that's kind of what we're doing with the Forge. We're building men, and we're building community among men. So it's not just about building each individual up. It's about growing as a group, as a whole. And the Forge is going to... Yeah, what's up, Taylor? Solo dolo out here. The Forge is going to... It's going to build us up individually, because it's going to push us in. There might be a guy that's super fit, but we're going to get spiritual. We're going to get vulnerable. It's going to push them that way. And there may be somebody that's super spiritual that's not necessarily fit or isn't very comfortable around guns. We're going to do that. And, it's not just all about fitness and guns and stuff, but we're going to use those things to learn life lessons and to build leaders and to build men. because at the end of the day, the men are the leaders. Well, I'm not saying like women can't be leaders, but I'm saying men are the leaders of their family. And we're trying to build leaders, trying to build men. And we're not saying that, oh, men, you know, they're the leaders. Like, the leaders are the servants, right? And we're trying to build Christ-like men through that. So, to build men, to build community, and to build the community, we also have the Discord. So if you're not a member of the Discord, hop on there. I'm going to see if I can drop it in the comments. My Discord has been like, there we go, it's working. It's been like not working today. So we have a couple guys that post in there. It's nowhere near the size I want it to be, but I want it to be just like a resource for men. So we have, I'm gonna share the Discord. I'm gonna like screen share the Discord. Is that possible? Yeah, let's do that. Well, let's do this. That was it. I'm just doing this off the cuff. All right, so here's the Discord. The Burden Society. We got the logos. This goes crazy. Okay, bear it or become it. So that is, you want to bear the burden of being a man, or you're going to become the burden, right? You want to bear your brother's burden. You want to bear the family's burden. You don't want to be the burden. You want to bear it. Okay, you want to be the one that people depend on. When they have an issue, they have a problem, they're going to bring it to you. You don't want to be the problem. And there's a time to be a lion. There's a time to be a lamb. We see that in the perfect example of Jesus. But first and foremost, we are a community of like-minded individuals with the goal of getting better every day, becoming assets in our communities, and carrying the burdens of the ones we love. And there's our logo. So we have the channels here. We got the Burden Society, just goulash of channels over here. I don't know if y'all can even see this, but let's see. But I'm going to walk you through it. The Burden Society, we got fitness channels, we got hiking/camping channels, faith and family, bougie stuff. You know, we got a weekly accountability channel, gear stuff, just all kinds of stuff. And we have the Forge channel. So if you want to come to a Forge, this is a way we can communicate. We primarily right now, we have a group text. So, but I'm also starting a weekly call. I'm going to start on Sunday nights. It's Iron Sharpens Iron weekly call. And this is completely free as of right now, which I want to make it $5, but we're going to keep it for free. The Discord is the free way to engage in the community, but there are going to be, yeah, you couldn't even see that. It didn't even share it. There are going to be ways to engage with the community and to engage with me. I have a goal of starting a Patreon. You know, at the basic level, we're going to have just, you know, say for like $5 a month, you know, you get access to a monthly coaching call or whatnot. You get free templates, a bunch of free resources. And then, you know, at the medium level, maybe it's something a little better than that. You know, more consistent interactions with me and the guys, more exclusive content. You know, we have specific instructors. You know, you're going to get a discount on the Forges, because the Forges, they're free right now, but they cost money to run. So we're going to have to put a cost on it. And, you know, like Selena said, Selena Eklund, it was me, Carson, and Selena on here, but just investing that and just investing a little bit. You know, it don't even have to be crazy. Like $5 a month from 10 dudes is not going to change my life, okay? But investing that is, they're going to pay attention to that channel. They're going to pay attention to the cause a little bit more. And even the Forges, you know, they're a little more intimate. You know, and they could end up being a little pricey. You know, I want them to be accessible for all, but they're going to take some money and some funding. So we're going to try to figure out a way to do it so it doesn't necessarily hurt our pocketbooks as much, because we're trying to coordinate it another way this time, and it's been a little bit of trouble. But if we want to make it a professional event, it's going to definitely have to cost a little bit. But one thing I've noticed is when I've paid for a fitness program, I followed it more, right? So you have a certain level of buy-in whenever you buy in. The Bible says your treasure's where your heart is. Your money's where your heart is, right? So, if you want to know where people's heart is, just look where their money's going. If their heart's in the church, they're gonna be tithing, they're gonna be giving. If their money is, if they're just spending all their money on their car, that's where their heart is. When you falling in love, you're spending a lot of money on your significant other. So there's just a little extra buy-in, even if it's something like you don't necessarily, you just know you need it, and you don't, not necessarily a want but a need. You pay for that, and you invest the time. So yeah, Burden Society. Hold on. We're actually having a rough time this week with our kids and sleeping. So this is a disaster. I hear some commotion going out there. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, that's the Burden Society. And I'm going to see what's going on. I'll be right back. Play the elevator music. All right, guys. I'm back. The house is still here. So yeah, and we're trying to do that and balance living a life. So bear it or become it. Burden Society. Y'all join the Discord, man. Get plugged in. We're building a community. We're building men. Building culture. And the Forge is coming up. Taylor's coming. We got about 9 or 10 guys, I think. So as of today, if I'm counting right in my head, we have 8, and that's including me and Peyton. And it's gonna be really fun. It's like, let's see, 2 weeks. So we got 2 weeks. That's awesome. I'm super pumped. I think we're gonna leave a little sore, a little tired, but better men. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to announce the next one soon. We might have a couple extra spots. So, saying all that, hit me up for fitness coaching. I recently reached out to a guy. He does mentoring, mentors men in their life. And it's kind of something that I want to do. Personally, I want to have like mentorships, but I'm not there yet. And I'm there. I just don't know how to implement it. So if you're looking for a mentor or looking for someone to guide you in your goals, or you just need somebody to hold you accountable, just reach out to me. I'm available. But yeah, so me and Cookie are going to start a series. It's going to be called How to Get Better At, and then you just fill in the blank. The first one I think we're doing is bench press. We're going to do pull-ups because he loves pull-ups. We're going to do running. We both ran a lot. Squats, etc. Any of the exercise, anything you could think of. It didn't even have to be in the gym. It could be how to get better at hiking. We'll have somebody on that is really good at hiking. We'll bring Roger back on. With that, we'll have that very intent focus that it's going to be about hiking. So it's not going to be a 3-hour podcast, okay? It's going to be like an hour and a half. And this is for when just me and not Carson, the other dude. What's the other dude's name? Me and Cookie. When it's just me and Cookie, we're gonna do these. So just look forward to that. It's going to be kind of educational, but we're going to go into deep dives. It's not going to be a 10-minute YouTube synopsis. It's going to be an hour and a half. We're going to go through our journey with the exercise from start to beginning. That's the same thing, from beginning to end, from start to now. From start to beginning, what? And we're going to break it down. We're going to give you advice. We're going to give you workouts. We're going to tell you, if you want to, we might could like review some video. I don't know. That's a good idea. But yeah, how to get better at blank. New series coming to the Put Work In podcast. So today's subject, it won't be too long on here today, but today's subject, basically how to get better at, getting results in the gym. So really there's two things you need that I see, two keys that I've kind of boiled it down to. No matter what you're doing in the gym, no matter what kind of workout you're doing, no matter what kind of exercise or what kind of goals you have, and this even applies to outside the gym, there's two things you need to see results. And one of those is something that, a lot of people miss out on. I think so the two things are consistency and effort. If you have both of those, you're going to get results. Consistency, I feel like, I guess if I notice you in the gym, you're pretty consistent because, you got to be there a couple times for at least for me to notice you. But, I see a lot of people that are super consistent but don't give much effort. And for a lot of people, it's a lot of effort just to be consistent. And that's literally half the battle. If you can be consistent, you'll get results. They may not be any extreme changes, but they're going to be results. And you're going to have that habit there. When I first started going to the gym, that was the main thing, like getting consistent. Because for like my whole life, I tried to work out, but I wasn't consistent. Like I'd do it for like 2 weeks and then I'd drop off the map. So my first goal, because for us, a young married couple, getting a gym membership was a commitment. We didn't have any type of subscriptions or anything back then. Now we got $6 million worth every month. I don't even know how we keep up with it. But when we first got married, we didn't even pay for Netflix. So getting a $40 gym membership was crazy. And I was working a job that wasn't actually, I was in a consistent job, which helped the money flow. I went from an inconsistent job where I didn't know what I was getting paid week to week. Some weeks I'd make bank, some weeks I'd make broke. What's up, Frankie? And the next, being consistent with the amount I was getting paid, I was getting when I moved my next job, I was getting paid the same thing every 2 weeks. And it wasn't a lot. Now I make one sale and I make what I made in 2 weeks. But just that consistency of pay made it. We knew what we could afford, and we knew what we had to do, and it was so much easier to follow a budget. But I'm talking a lot, so I have to drink more water. I've noticed that today. I'm only like 25 minutes in. But consistency is the key. So like I was saying, when I first started working out, before I even got my gym membership, I made sure for like 2 months I was going to be consistent. And I was. I saw results at home. I saw arm results. I didn't get bigger anywhere but my arms. I was doing bicep blasting stuff because I had these 10, 15, and 20-pound weights. Basically all I could do. So I saw those results. Obviously, I was not consistent on any type of leg day. But, I mean, what kind of leg workout are you going to get at the house? Besides just like some endurance. I remember my leg workout. I'd run down the driveway. It was a big hill. It's probably like quarter-mile driveway. Run down and back. And then I do some like box jumps on the steps down there. I was doing CrossFit before I even knew what CrossFit was. But, so, consistency was the foundation before I even went into the gym. So I knew when I got my gym membership, I was going to use it. Because the last thing we wanted to do was commit to paying this $35 subscription that I wasn't going to use, which I feel like a lot of people do that. But at the same time, like I was saying earlier, just paying that money was going to make me use it. But for some people that works, for some people it doesn't. Like Carson, he's had gym memberships multiple times, and it never made him go to the gym. But maybe if you paid a $500 a month coach, maybe it's just a problem with scale. I don't know. So, different people have different struggles, right? And so there's different solutions to different problems. Not everybody's problem is going to be the same. So some people you're going to struggle with consistency. And a lot of people have the consistency figured out and they haven't got the second part, the effort. But I do think it's more important to establish that consistency first before you go in there and just hammer yourself so hard that you're sore and can't walk for 3 days. But if we're completely honest here, if you want to see physiological change, you want to see your body, you want to gain buku's muscle or lose buku's of fat, you got to put effort in. Like if that's just effort, in the kitchen, like gouging down protein shakes or just eating lettuce, whatever it is, I'm not prescribing anything. You got to put effort into it. Like, the problem, a lot of people have this problem of wanting a microwave solution to their crock pot problem, right? They've sit here, they put 10 pounds on a year for 10 years, so 100 pounds, and they want to lose 100 pounds in 1 year and expect it to be the same. And it's going to take a lot more work to get that 100 pounds off than it was to put that 10 pounds on. So it's just the consistency and the little habits along the way. It's going to get you a long way. But if you want to make a big change, you're going to need that effort and the consistency. You can't have one without the other. But like I was saying earlier, if I see you in the gym, the likelihood is you probably are consistent. If I'm seeing you and noticing you in the gym and noticing you enough to notice you're not putting in effort. But some people, they don't want to put on any muscle. They don't want to change. And it's okay. If you're just going in there to move a little bit, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to see results, if you're Taylor Junkin and you want to get to 315 on the bench press, that's one of his goals. You're going to have to put in the effort. You're going to have to go in there and bench press a weight that you do not want to bench press. You're kind of nervous to see if you can even hit it. But you load it up, you unrack it, and you rep it out. And you're like, dang, that was all right. I did it. It hurt. It was hard, but I did it. Oh, I got to do more next week. Just do it. It's effort. I'm not saying go out here and kill yourself, because that's dumb. Be safe. But, for me, if I don't, personally for me, if I leave the gym and I hadn't put forth some sort of effort, I just feel like I wasted my time. Whether that be, lifting a heavy weight, like today, I squatted 395 for 5, and it was dang effort. Okay. I put out, and then I went and ran some sprints. It was probably about an 80% effort. You're not going to be able to just put 100% on everything, but you can pick one thing a day and just hammer it. And then I got on the stair stepper for 10 minutes at a very low effort, but it felt like way worse because these things compound, right? The squats made the runs harder, which made the stair stepper harder. Tomorrow I'm not going to be lifting heavy. I'm going to go in there. Hopefully, if I wake up, I got to get up early and I'm up late. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm planning on going in there and hitting a hard effort on a CrossFit workout. So that effort's what's going to make you fitter. It's what's going to make you stronger. You ask Peyton Franklin, man. When he went from barely being able to squat to squatting 407, you know, it was an effort. I don't know if y'all are still watching, but let me know. But yeah, it was an effort, man. He was in there struggling, and then it paid off. You know, every time I've made progress, it's effort, man. If I'm running a fast mile, it's because I'm putting in effort on the track days. You know, I put in effort on those long runs that got me to, you know, 442 marathon from a 6, right? It took effort. You don't just show up and see progress. You know, being consistent, that's half of it, but the other half is effort. And I feel like they're both 100%, honestly. But because if you have consistency, but you don't ever put out effort, you're not going to make progress. You know, you'll burn some calories, but you're not going to make progress. You're not going to get better. If you want to get better, you got to work harder, and you got to put in the work. Because you basically, when it comes to strength training, it's like this. You kind of have to force the adaptation. You know, because there's a specific weight. Let's just put it in terms of the squat. There's a specific weight that I, like last week, 390 for 5. I know I can hit that. If I hit that again, I'm not getting any better. It may have took a little effort, but not as much effort as adding 5 pounds. You know, most of it's just mental anyway. But, you know, I may not have even been able to squat. This doesn't make any sense. But, you know, maybe I don't have the ability to squat a certain amount. But somehow I ended up just yeeting another rep. You know what I'm saying? And that ability has demonstrated itself. You got to put forth the effort. I'm going off on a tangent on something I have not thought through. But, you know, I need to put some effort into that. Yeah, I just don't see a lot of, not everybody's putting in effort. They're just going in there and, you know, like I said, if you're just trying to establish consistency, do it. But the effort needs to be there eventually, especially if you want to make changes. If you want to grow muscle, if you want to get stronger, you got to put weight on there you're scared of. If you want to get faster, you're going to have to go fast. You're going to have to breathe heavy. If you want to get fitter, same thing. So if you want to run a marathon, you got to run some runs that you're just like, bro, I don't know if I'm going to survive this. And you're going to have to go out there and do something you've never done before and then survive. You're going to have, really, you push yourself past what you can do. And it's hard to imagine that because you did it, so you can do it. But in your mind, it's something you've never done or something that it's just really hard. And then you look back and it was like, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And that pushes you to come back and do it again. So like last week, I did 390 for a set of 5. And it was really hard. And I was like, I'd already planned in my head, okay, well, it's about time to go on a cut. Okay, since the squats stopped going up, I'm going to go on a cut. And this week, I'm going to do 395 for 2 sets of 3. But, you know, then I loaded the weights up today. I actually did cut my calories this week. I didn't even eat enough yesterday. I loaded up the weights. Warm-up's feeling awfully heavy. Feeling a little weird. I hit 375, I think. And then it was like grindy. And then I load 395 up. I'm like, okay. I'm going to test these first 3 reps out. See how it feels. Because once you get into doing those grindy reps, you can kind of feel out, okay, I got a little more push to me. Because when you're in the moment, these reps feel like they're taking 3 minutes a piece. Easily. But you look at the video, it's, man, you're flying. So I'm in there, I'm squatting 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, basically the first, when I unracked it, it felt light. And this is 5 pounds off of 400, right? I used to struggle to get 355 once. But effort and consistency. But effort. And then, you know, the 4th and 5th rep, I knew were there at rep 3. So I went ahead and did them. The 5th rep is probably my slowest rep in the past 3 or 4 months since I maxed out last. And, but I got it. And now I know in my head, okay, even if the rep's going this slow, if I just push a little harder, I can get it. Right? It's just putting those miles in your mind, putting those reps in. So now I know if a rep feels like this, I can get it. Right? So yeah, and that was a huge effort. And hopefully I'm getting stronger from doing all this, because I'm not doing like little easy, just go in here and squat 225, you know. But, you know, sometimes you have to, somewhere, you know, like I said, you're not going to go 100% on every workout. Sometimes it is just about going through the motions. Sometimes it is just about getting in there and moving a little bit. I do take days, at least one day a week, you know, unless I'm super tired, I'll go in there and just move a little bit, you know, because the consistency, it keeps me solid, you know, it keeps me mentally well. You can ask Abby, if I miss a gym day, it just feels wrong, you know. That's just, I don't know. I think it's just something physiological, because I hear that a lot. But yeah, that's what I got today, guys. Y'all just go put in some effort. If you just look back at your past week of training, and was anything hard? Were you kind of scared a little bit at anything you were doing? Were you ever nervous? If not, you need to go in there and get nervous, right? And the thing about it is that I hear this comment all the time, like, you know, I'm too old for all that, or, you know, I'm never going to do this again or lift heavy again or whatever, just because. But here's the thing. If you're not pushing yourself, you're going backwards. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. You know, you're either going this way or that way. You can't stay still. The whole world, your whole life is pulling you backwards. Right? And that's a fight with effort, but it's also a fight with consistency. You know, because most people, unless they're a professional athlete, you're going to have some life thing come up that throws your consistency off. And, you know, it's really about the type of effort you put in. The type of effort you put in consistently that will prepare you for those moments. Because if you're putting in the work, those times off from the gym or those life happenings, you know, stuff happens and you're going to progress a little bit. But if you're really pushing the limits, going this way, making progress, then, you know, when those things come, it won't take as big of a dent out of you. You know, when you get the stomach bug, it won't take as much strength from you, because you've added, let's just make up a number. You added 20 pounds. Okay. Say this sickness takes 10. Okay. So you gain 10 overall net. But if you didn't put as much effort in and you only got 5 pounds stronger and it takes 10, you lost 5. You know, these are just numbers that I made up, but just apply it to your situation. So you constantly have to strive to be better, to get better. And, you know, there's seasons of your life where you just want to go in there and move around. You know, you don't necessarily want to work as hard. Take a break, man. You need a break every once in a while. You can't just go after the same thing 100% balls to the wall every time. Like if I'm sitting here in a squat cycle, I've been doing it for 12 months, man, I'm going to burn out. Because I get times where I'm like last year, I did a squat cycle into the marathon training. By the time I got to the end of the squat cycle, I was done with it, bro. I was like, this is enough. I'm ready to run. So I ran. By the time I got done with that, I'm like, bro, I'm ready to squat again. And I'm not just taking off wholesale from each at the same, you know, when I'm doing one or the other. I do them at the same time. But you got to have a focus. I can't like prep for a marathon and a powerlifting meet at the same time, which I've never done a powerlifting meet. That's just an example. But, you know, I did peak I did max out my squat and PR by 20 pounds in the middle of a marathon prep. You know, my miles were lower. As soon as I finished squatting, I ramped my miles up as soon as I took the focus off squatting. And my squat kind of went down a little bit. You know, I never tested it to see if that was true, but it did feel like squats were heavier. And then after the marathon, I shifted right back into squats. Okay. So, you know, you gotta focus your effort in the right place. But y'all, you know, if you're not consistent, get consistent. That's the baseline. But put some effort in so you can see some results. Put the work in. Hey, put the work in. Put the effort in. Same thing, right? So yeah, y'all go check out my latest video. Bench video coming soon with the Bros, where me and Taylor PR'd. But check that out because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, Forge coming up in 2 weeks. I'm ready to do a recap of that. It's going to be really fun. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. I just did 43 minutes by myself, so it's pretty good. I'm solid. I mean, that's solid. But I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. See y'all next week. Hopefully, same time. See y'all there. Peace out.